What's up guys, Nerdy Perkins here, coming to you with another Franky deck builders, and today I'm going to be going over a King leader deck. So let's just jump right into it. Alright, I'm going to be using OnePieceCardGame.dev, super awesome service. I'm going to link it down below so you can build your own decks like this. Super great. Well, I want to get right into the content though, so let's look at the leader. And we will see that he's pretty standard for a mono-colored leader. 5,000 power, 5 life, and his ability is, on your turn, if you have 10 Dawn cards on your field, give all your opponent's characters minus 1,000. So the idea is you're trying to get up to your 10 Dawn as quickly as possible, which will then subtract your opponent's characters. And then I have various tools in here that are going to be taking them out, clearing the board, and allowing you to then strike in at the leader fairly easily. At least that is the goal with the deck. So let's go over and I'll kind of talk about some the different cards and what we're looking at here. To start, I have Black Maria. This just really need a low cost blocker, and this is going to be useful. And honestly, I picked Black Maria over the other low cost blocker. I don't even remember her name. It's the Korizumi from the starter set. Korizumi has a little bit more power, but honestly, you're not really throwing these blockers out to survive. These are more just to like kind of get something out early game so that you can kind of cover yourself while you're ramping up, or if you don't get, you know, the kind of cards you're trying to draw at the start. But like I said, this is going to be very good for early game. Not going to do like any more than like, not going to do the other set of blockers. I think this is going to work for your like early game situation. Then we have some ramp with Ulti, a really good card. It is 2 costs, 3,000 power, and you on play tap another Dawn and you're gonna get a Dawn rested, the equivalent of a Onigashima basically, and gonna be really good. As I said, I have 4 of these. This is your early game ramp. You want one of these in your hand, or you want an Onigashima in your hand to try to start ramping up. Then we had Who's Who. I debated whether doing this Who's Who or the Who's Who that gets a little bit of a buff when you have a full life pool, but this one's just so useful with the trigger. You can KO 3 costs or less, so you're gonna be clearing out the board, so it fits into that idea of like trying to clear the board with like everything else. I think this is gonna be a useful one. As I said, maybe you switch it out for the 2 cost Who's Who that gets like stronger, but I think this one's a little bit more useful. Especially with the trigger. Like, this guy coming out of a trigger is just like, it punishes like early if you play characters too early. Like if you play like a blocker or whatever the start of your turn instead of waiting, like this guy can like really bite you in the butt. So I like this one a lot. This guy I did not have in originally until I like re-looked at him and I was like, oh, this is amazing, at least for this deck. So let's say you have a full board and you play something that can subtract a Dawn, and it's suddenly, you know, the characters go from having the minus 1,000 to being neutral again. Then you play this and play it, and on attack you gain the Dawn back, so when he attacks, the character he's attacking instantly gets undercut by 1,000. Very useful, plus it's a 2,000 counter. Like I said, this is a definite throw-in. I was fluctuating whether to do 4 of, and I think it's worth it just to do the 4 of, because once you have one on the board, if you think he's safe, you just throw, you know, use the others as counters, or you hold on to the other ones and try to play multiple, because multiple of these is going to be even better. Love this card, perfect for this deck. Going to be very useful to kind of do some like little tricky moves. Jack is one that you could probably flex up to 4 of. I think that the deck has enough of kind of like the early ramp, so maybe you do 4 of these and then do maybe 2 of for the next 2 I'll talk about. But as I said, I'm still kind of deck teching. I've found that I've used Jack less than I used Ulti, or then I use Sasaki, or then just trying to get Onigashima on the board. I mean, he's useful with the 2,000 with the extra 1,000 counter, and I don't think having him in the deck is gonna hurt at all, because it's just extra chance of getting more ramp at the start of the game. But as I said, this one I maybe not do a complete 4 of, especially with Ulti. But if you're maybe not finding that you're getting enough of the ramp, this is maybe something you throw in. Then we have Page One, super useful card. I have 3 of him right now. And like I said, maybe you pop him down to 2 if you want to get some extra Jack. But honestly, having him in, you pop down the Dawn. He's able to attack active characters, take out those blockers who are going to be active. Going to be a very useful card, especially when you take into account the card after this. But yeah, like I said, 4 cost, 5,000 power. You activate main, you remove the Dawn, and you attack the standing cards. Very useful card. Debating whether to do 4 of, but honestly, I didn't do anything more than 4 of for anything that costs more than 3, because honestly, it's you just want to get the ramp, and then you have like these various other options to kind of try to pull. I did 3 of these just because you do want to try to get this because it pairs well with Ulti, who we'll do 3 of as well. So we have a nice 3-3 pairing of these, and I don't mind having 3 of her. She has the 2,000 counter. She's a 4 cost, 5,000 power, and on play you subtract a Dawn, and you can bring that page 1 that I just talked about onto the field if you have it in hand. Very useful. And then like I said, maybe if you have 2 in hand and you don't have that page 1, you just use her for the counter for the 2,000. Maybe you even flex this up to a 4 of, I'm not sure. But like I said, I like having the 3 of both of these both of these guys to use. Think it's going to be a good one. Then we have Uta to kind of fill our mid-cost blocker. Another maybe you could flex up to 3. This is going to be useful for kind of setup. You kind of have it down, your opponent attacks, you tap, and maybe you can tap one of their blockers, something they don't want to have you be attacking at the next turn, and it leaves them vulnerable. Gonna be good. She's 4 cost, 5,000 power, also has the counter. Maybe you flex up more, like I said. I keep saying that, but I think that a 2 up for her, and then I have another couple heavy blockers. I think you'll be kind of set, especially because we have the low cost blockers to kind of fill the gaps. Then we have Queen, and this is the base set version. He's 6 cost, 5,000 power. He has 1,000 counter, and you play him and subtract a Dawn. He gains rush during the turn and gives one opponent's character minus 2,000 power during the turn. So you can kind of like debuff, and that's useful because it doesn't necessarily have to be like what he attacks. Like you can debuff maybe a blocker and use page 1 then to get a more clench hit. Lot of use for this one. And the idea is that once again, you can kind of, you hopefully have an Onigashima or something in hand that can then be played to get your Dawn back to then set them back even further with King's ability. I like it. I think this, like I said, I do 2 of, maybe you can flex it up more, but like I said, I think we have plenty of other options to kind of use that you don't really need more than 2 of this, I think. Then we have Queen. The other Queen from the starter deck, and this is the blocker. It is on play. You can subtract a Dawn and draw 2 cards, discard 1 from the hand. Going to be useful for card draw, useful for a blocker. Maybe you switch it up, but I like the extra card draw with this guy. I think it's fairly useful. You maybe even switch Uta and do maybe instead of 2 Uta, just drop Uta altogether and do 4 of these Queens. But I like Uta because a little lower cost and has some other utility. So like I said, this is a very good one. I like this one a lot. Then we have base set King, and this guy is going to be one of your low cost clearer. Throw this guy out, clear some low cost blockers, and be able to then once again swing in with another hit. I like this guy. -2. As I said, with this you can generally kind of fill that back up using either Onigashima or Ulti. But yeah, or honestly, you maybe finish this. You do this as a finisher, or if you don't even plan on attacking and you know you're gonna get your Dawn back next round, that kind of thing. Gonna be good for clearing the low board stuff. But yeah, 7 cost, 7,000 power. I guess, sorry, I didn't talk about his ability. On play, -2 Dawn, you KO an opponent 3 cost or lower and a character, and an opponent 2 cost or lower character. So you get 2, and it's a 3 cost and then a 2 cost. So gonna be useful. Then we have the promo Kaido, 7 cost, 8,000 power. You get him down and you activate your main by subtracting 2, and he gains Banish. Basically, he can get a card from the life field down. Don't want more than that. I just like this Kaido because it's a nice low cost one. And the idea is that I'm trying not to do any abilities that are more than 2 cost, because the idea is that you want to have like Onigashima and Ulti or whatever back like in your hand to either buff it up, or like I said, you do this as your last play and you subtract the 2 once you've cleared all the characters and have this guy swing in to try to do the banish. And yeah, like I said, then you get the 2 back at the start of your next turn, that kind of thing. Like I said, I think this will be a very useful card. Like I said, this is going to be one of your big like attackers to try to really get right at your opponent's life and deny them the card draw option. Then we'll get into events and obviously the stage. We'll start with our counters. We're going to do Ulti-Mortar. You do the -2, and the idea is that hopefully you're playing this not too early on, or in the later game where you already have 10 at the end of your turn or whatever, so you're getting those 2 back. And you're also getting the card draw, very useful. And I'm pretty sure, yeah, the trigger, add a Dawn from your Dawn deck and set it as active. So it also serves as ramp, so it has that dual ability. I like it. We're going to keep 3 of this. You can even maybe flex it up to 4. I think I keep it at 3 for now for my testing purposes. But this would maybe, like with everything, you could probably fluctuate these a little bit. Then we have Blast Breath. And this one is your low cost. It's 1 cost. You bring a Dawn back to the Dawn deck and your character gains 4,000. So really beefy, going to be useful. And usually, the idea is that you're going to be able to get that back fairly quickly if you're playing your cards right. Then we have Sheep's Horn. This one I like because you can play it and rest really high cost characters. This is maybe when you switch out. Actually, no, like I said, I like this at a 2. You have it to play for those clench hits where maybe you tap a really high cost blocker, a really important character that your opponent doesn't want you to get access to, and then you kill them with one of your characters because you just bring your Dawn back up, subtract that character by 1,000 and swing with one of your characters you have on the field. Think it'll be useful. Could even maybe use more of these. As I said, I think I'm running with 2 because this next card kind of does similar stuff. Like it can hit just like 1 cost lower, which I think still covers the bases. So let's talk about that. It's from the film deck. This one is going to be Lion Threat Imperial Earthbind, and it is a main, so you play it on your turn. It is Dawn -2, KO up one of your opponent's 5 cost or lower characters, so you get a 5 cost, and it is the trigger, add a Dawn from your Dawn deck and set it as active. Super useful. Add 4 of these. If it's in your life, bam, extra ramp. If you don't need the ramp, bring it to your hand and you have it. And like I said, the idea is that you hopefully have a board state that can take care of this, or you set it up so you play it last, so you don't have to worry about having your king effect being subtracted and then you gain your Dawn back at the start of the next turn. Going to be a very useful card. And like I said, I really like this one. Was a definite add-on the minute I saw it. Then to round things out, we have 4 Onigashima. You want 4 of these. You want this in your starting hand because it is a very useful card. And since you are using King as an Animal King's pirate leader, you can use it. You bring it out and you can tap it to add a Dawn card to your cost area rested. Very useful. As I said, you want at least one of these. You want either one of these, you want an Ulti, or you want a Jack at the start of your turn. That's why we have 12 of them in here to try to facilitate. And then we also have our 7 other cards from events that can trigger to do ramp. And then we have our various abilities, and what I think we have we have -1 with Who's Who, -1, -1, -2, -1, -2, -2. So like I said, the idea is that you're going to try to get, be able to not get too far into the hole in Dawn any one turn, unless you're trying to do a really big one. But the idea is you want to stay at 10 while you're doing your swinging and then do stuff that brings your Dawn down below after that. And you just want to kind of keep yourself at 10 as much as possible to keep your opponent in a more vulnerable state and just hack at them. I really, really like this deck. I've been having a lot of fun with it the few times I've played. Think it'll be very useful. But I think I have a pretty good balance of stuff, and I've had some pretty good plays when I played against some guys the other night. So let me know what you guys think down below, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye-bye.